Yo, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another brand new video. It's been a little while, but honestly I've been kind of busy with so many things, playing shows, releasing new music. Yeah, there's a few things I want to go over in this video. Number one, I was supposed to record an update back in April on my goals and how everything is going. I kind of skipped that step because everything was going in such a quick speed. I was like, you know what, let me just go halfway the year and kind of like go through goals and which ones have I reached, what are the things that I've noticed, and then I'm going to go over and explain my Monstercat release. Besides that, yeah, let's just quickly go over the goals. I would have never thought that it was going to go this fast with me, but especially with a whole new genre that I'm into right now. So it's actually like insane to see, number one, the drum and bass field and the fans and everything, but number two, to see that like what I'm making is resonating that well with, you know, not just fans and listeners, but also with some of the biggest DJs in the world. I mean, Martin Garrix started to play my music and unreleased music, the Chainsmokers, A-Lock, and it just feels incredible to finally, you know, get that recognition, I guess. So last year in December, I set my goals up in different forms. So one of my priority goals was to release my first EP release. That might still happen. Like, this is not to tease anything. Like, I seriously don't even know if it's still gonna happen this year. Then the follower counts, I started to notice that like in the beginning of the year, I was really trying to do more like, you know, sample flip content and trying to like, you know, build that kind of community. I realized that the follower counts isn't really like a priority goal for me. Like, I'd rather want to focus on just releasing music and make my fans or followers hardcore fans rather than just building the number and just get 100,000 TikTok followers, because that's, I don't actually think that's a good goal to have. Song release with a bigger artist, these are all things that are still coming up that I'm working on. More shows, this is something that I have been doing as well. I'm signed with an agent and I've been playing Rampage, and I'm going to play some really cool shows in the future. And then this is super cool, this is also part of the video, the Monstercat release. This was one of my goals for this year. For 2024, I wanted to get a release on either Monstercat or Stamped, and what's really nice is the fact that I got both, and both are gonna drop in 2024. I had this in mind for so long, and it's just so cool to see that it's actually finally getting to the point that I can say that I've released with some of my favorite labels. I've reached 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm still doing the demo drops on Instagram. I had this thing of doing another 10 remixes, but to be honest, like, I'm releasing so many more singles, and in 2023 I was just only dropping remixes to get my name out there, but in the end it only gets you so far, you know? And yeah, so like overall, like, I gotta really, I mean, we're only halfway through the year, or like this is the 7th month, but overall I'm really happy with how everything is going, and I can't thank my fans enough for sticking with me this ride, and for supporting me, and all the new people that came in. I mean, yeah, that's amazing, and I can't wait to show you what's coming up next. Okay, now let's dive into the Monstercat project. It's a song called Ignite with Felix Samuel, and we released it on Monstercat together. Yeah, let me just dive into the track and show you how I made the song. All right, so we start off with the beginning.
Give me something to believe in, fire in my heart.
There is number one, this like ARP thing. Just an atmospheric layer, nothing too crazy. A woodwind sound in the intro. So that instantly sets the mood. I love the sound, it's really organic and very natural. I added a piano. Just Imagiro piano, some multiband compression, overdrive, and an EQ. And yeah, that's just for the intro with some effects and background noises. some crackle just to kind of set the mood a little bit, you know. So then some transition effects to go to the next part with the vocal. And then the vocals come in. And the vocals sound like this.
Give me something to believe in, fire in my heart. Take a chance now, hold your hand out, shine in the dark.
So yeah, the vocal is it's just simple, like it was already processed and pretty much ready to go. The only thing I did here is just added a very long delay to fill up those spaces and to make it a bit more atmospheric, I'd say. We got some background vocals. So it just sounds a lot bigger. And then we're gonna layer those with some drums. Especially there, just a lot of breakbeat elements with a very heavy kick to support that build-up. Yeah, and then what I'm doing here is in the drop, I have like the main lead, and I just took one note and I added like a lot of reverb and reverse effects to it. So it's like it's like a swelling introduction to the synth in the drop and build-up. Yeah, and then what I really like to do in my songs is to add a lot of atmospheric layers. So I'm gonna play the whole group. So there is like this transition synth. Adding an ARP as well. Super sauce for the build-up, and then all the synths together. And I'm adding these plucks. So it's like a lot of tonal atmospheric layers yet again, you know. It's not even about layering just chords and just duplicating them with a different sound. It's actually layering different melodies and harmonies and different, entirely different sounds, different rhythms, you know, and that as a layer creates this like massive stack of sounds. And then yeah, again, also with the effects, really builds up here. Stadium crowds. It's like very organic noise, which is really nice to have in here. And then yeah, well, let's just play from the build-up onwards.
Can you feel it, feel it? We've been waiting all of our lives. Can you feel it, feel it? Light it up and let it ignite. We've been waiting all of our lives. Light it up and let it ignite.
So we're gonna start off with the drums, and they sound like this. The kick, super simple. It's one One is from Surgical Sounds. Very good kick, and then it's layered with just a top kick. They are routed through a clipper, and that's pretty much it. And just a little bit of EQing and some transient shaping. The snare is a layer of 3 snares, actually. And then it's a layer of some 909 crashes. So a 909 crash is actually not an electronic sounding crash at all. Like, it's pretty acoustic. And I love how that crash sounds like in the mix. And that's then layered with other hi-hats. Bunch of percussive layers, bunch of shakers, bunch of a tambourine. I had some fills here. And yeah, those are basically the drums. Then we go to the lead group, and this sounds like this. Super simple. This is just a preset from TSP. I don't know. It's just on Splice. What I wanted to have is this sort of sub-focusy dimension sound, where it's like a really electro house sounding lead. I wanted to create like this sort of, it sounds like a distortion, but it's not. It's actually implemented in the synth itself. It's basically a super fast modulation routed to the pitch course. So I'm routing LFO1 with a very fast rate. I think I had it at 128, and I route it to the coarse pitch, and that's how it's going to create this super fast, like, that kind of sound. Just put it at like 4 or 3. Yeah, then it's just some EQing, just removing the low end, some overdrive, and then we have this audio effect rack where we have a reverb send and then a delay. And what you'll notice is both of these sends also have a compressor after the time effect. So we have a reverb, and then after there's a compressor that's sidechained through its dry signal. Every time the melody stops, so for example, right here or right here or here, the reverb and delay gets released. So you hear like this massive pumping sort of movement, which is exactly what I wanted. That also makes the lead sound a lot more clean and clear in the mix by using sidechain compression after that delay or reverb effect. Some more EQing, nothing too crazy. Yeah, like literally this is actually just one lead. This is just one synth. And then for the second part of the track is just some support layers. One super saw lead, and then the next one. And that all gets into a lead group where we have Endless Smile. That's just for transition purposes. And then some overdrive, sidechain to the kick, obviously. And then this background synth. Yes, just for ambience. Then we go to my favorite part, which is the part where I add a lot of vocal effects and ambience loops mixed with bass and synths. And here is like where the actual layering gets like happens basically. So we start off first with the sub. Nothing crazy, just a basic sub sign. And I just make sure that I remove all the high frequencies. And then we have this one. That's just a shot from a recorded ad-lib from Felix Samuel that I looped and I panned from left to right. And that's, yeah, something that really fills up the drop a lot. Like it fills up the entire melodic spectrum. And that's again layered with like some chant. And then this one. That's just a serum pluck with its decay and sustain being automated. Then layering that with a lot of chants. Then some brass hits. Some more chord layers. And then we get to this part. This is where the mid bass is happening in the chords. The main mid bass. Again, same like with the pluck, it's a mid bass, but the cutoff is constantly being automated. It's being modulated through an LFO. So again, you hear it open and close, and that's how it creates this movement. Arpeggiator, just to have it at a 1/8 rhythm, and then removing the low end, because then we keep room for the sub. Then we have another like bass sample, also from the Surgical Sounds sample pack. Then for the other main group, we have a lot of donk sounding basses. So we have this one, something a bit more clean, this one, different sounding basses that are then glued into a group with a lot of surgical EQing, removing the low end, but then also removing a lot of the mids, and then layered that with the ARP from the verse. And yeah, and then some effects for transitions. A lot of effects. I like to add a lot of downlifters and effects and again, movement to keep the track interesting. And that's pretty much the drop. I mean, apart from these like vocal phrases.
Light it up and let it ignite. Light it up and let it ignite. A hesitation, chance not taken, going up in flames.
And here it just continues. There's some like a faded melody, like drop melodies in the background. Some more layers. Let me see. I think this is a Reese. Some strings or cellos to continue the tonality. Then it's pretty much the same until the first part of the second drop comes in, which sounds like this.
Light it up and let it ignite.
Sound-wise, nothing too crazy, but the thing is I'm going 4 to the floor, which I've never done in a drum bass track before, but I've always wanted to do it because I feel like it's so upcoming. Just a kick, just being 4 to the floor, nothing too crazy, and I'm just adding this hi-hat pattern and some more like loops to keep it a little different than the next part of the track. Regarding the synths, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, the only thing is the pattern has changed. And then it just ends like this. Bunch of effects, and that's the outro. So yeah, pretty simple project, but in my opinion, one of my favorite popular commercial drum and bass tracks that I've dropped so far. Thank you, Monstercat, for giving me this opportunity to release my first song with you, and more are coming up, so it's gonna be insane. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon with more videos, more music, more live shows, and yeah, all right, talk to you soon. Peace.